Law is on that website, and you can download it. And I also have information if you want to join my newsletter, my monthly newsletter, that's on that page too, on how to do that. So I love to keep in touch and share. I've got like some really cool movie stuff coming up that I can't talk about, but my newsletter people are going to get all the inside scoop first, because you guys support me, and I want to be able to, I don't know, it's fun to find out stuff first. Let's just be honest. So anyway, so thank you guys so much for being here today. And Serena, I will kind of throw this back to you and open it up to questions, and we can move from there.
Yes, thank you, Jamie. Does anyone have a question that they'd like to put in chat, or if you'd like to unmute yourself and ask it if has a little bit more details, it'll be harder to write in chat. Does anyone have a question? Edgar, go ahead.
Yes, thank you for an excellent presentation. I had one small question. In the screenplay you wrote, you had written the description of Joe, and you said Joe's a perfectionist. The question I have is, do you need to somehow show how Joe is a perfectionist, or is it enough for the director to simply say, okay, I'll figure out how to do it, how to show it?
Oh, Edgar, what a great question. Everything we learned in novel writing about show, don't tell is the opposite in film writing. I mean, yes, you have to show, not tell, of course. But when you're introducing a character, like it's their cameo intro, like Joe, you have to think, Brad Pitt is going to be reading this script. Why would he want to take it? So you want to put some little snazzy detail in there, a closet perfectionist who collects shrimp tails. Oh my God, I want to be this character, right? So you have to think of it that way, and you don't have to spill it out. I mean, you can even say you can use another character. That's the other cool thing. You can say he's kind of like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life, just because all you're trying to do is give them like the blueprint for them to go build this beautiful, beautiful thing. So you just have to give them enough to have that blueprint. So sometimes it's just he's a perfectionist who collects shrimp tails, or he's a lot like George Bailey with a I don't know, Barney mixed together. and just so the actor is like, oh, I want to do this part, and then they push it.
Got you. Thank you.
We have a few questions in chat, a lot to do with just the business of writing. The first one is, how did you get your agent?
I do not have an agent. I was teaching a real estate class, and one of the customers in the class came up to me afterwards and said he just moved to Florida. He's a new realtor. He was in LA in the movie business for 30 years. And I said, oh, well, I'm an author. I've always wanted to get into the movie business. And he said, well, let me put you with my best friend. He's an entertainment attorney in LA. And that's how my journey started. And so he is the attorney for the production company. And he said, do you have any rom-coms, Hallmark, strong female lead? And as a writer of magical middle grade books, I said, yeah, I can. Yeah, let me look. And so 2 months later, he pitched my project to the producer. The producer loved it, and the rest is history. According to my attorney, however, you do not need an agent or a manager. He actually said, because I did, produce a movie, and I'm like, should I be pitching agents now? And he said, no, you want them to come to you. So keep doing what you're doing. So you guys can't duplicate that. That's my Hollywood unicorn story that'll be on the E! True television one day. What you guys can do, though, is what I've done successfully. And I have used LinkedIn as a networking platform. From there, Stephen King's producer from Thinner and the Stand and I have been speaking for over a year, and we are in development on my comic book to feature film. And that was from him reaching out to me on LinkedIn, seeing my posts, seeing consistent posts, seeing what I'm doing, and just really loving my writing and loving the story. So there are ways to network that don't involve unicorns. And that's definitely one of them. Is absolutely LinkedIn is the way to go.
Well, that answers the following questions about getting an agent if you need an agent, how you get your writing in front of producers, use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And also the other one was, how does one get, into the business of this? LinkedIn, that's a good way to
Yeah,
start.
LinkedIn is incredible. And then there's, there's places like Stagecraft is pretty cool. I can't remember the other one. Oh, Inktip. Inktip is where you can upload your script, and then producers will look at the log line, or they'll say, we've got 6 producers looking for these types of films, and they'll do a little log line of what they're looking for, and then you can submit to them directly. I have 4 different option agreements out right now with producers, all through LinkedIn Connections. And it was just networking that way. And I really just would say, don't go out there and be like, hey, producer, here's my script, because they don't, but no, they should come to you. And you'd really want a manager before an agent, because managers they can get you in as a producer, where an agent cannot be a producer. So having a manager is almost better to start with. And managers are smaller and more boutique, so they can actually help your career a little bit better getting off the ground than an agent can.
The next question is, are you a member of the Writers Guild?
Sadly, not yet. Although my film is a major feature and will be on network television, the Writers Guild of America, you have to be a registered production company with the guild for it to be a guild property. So my company, the screenwriters part, because we're the lowest totem pole people in the film industry, just FYI, no one cares about us writers unless you're Taylor Sheridan. They are not registered for the writers on the Writers Guild. So even though this would have given me enough credits to join, I am not able to join yet. So knock on wood, the next one will be.
The next question is, are there screenwriting how-to books that you would recommend?
Yes, there is, mixed feelings on Save the Cat, but Save the Cat was a great book. I'm currently reading this book. It's not necessarily screenwriting, but as you can see, I've really enjoyed it. And it does include elements of script. Is it backwards? Because it's backwards to me. The words
Not to
are
us.
backwards. Okay,
It's
good.
just a little, you're going to need a bigger start or
Story. You're going to need a bigger
Gotcha.
story. It's an amazing book on, you know how Marvel and Disney, like Star Wars, they'll have like the Star Wars movie, and now they've got movies and TV shows and side stories and backward stories and comic books. And, it's creating your story world to be able to support that type of storytelling so that you can build a super fan base by building a super story world. It's absolutely fascinating. So Save the Cat. I am launching on Kindle Vella, if anyone's familiar with that, how to write a film that doesn't suck. Each week I am releasing 1 chapter at a time. You can go to my website and scroll kind of to the bottom, and it'll give you information on how to jump on board that. And then the other one that I thought was pretty good is how to write a movie in 21 days. This was a good step-by-step just to give you some, like, a map, and like giving yourself deadlines, like on day 1, you write this much, on day 2, you write that much. And for some of us, we need that structure because it's really easy for us to be like too scared to start. So having structure almost makes you feel like you're an employee and that book boss is telling you what to do.
The other question is less of a structured question. They were curious for more information on how to use LinkedIn as a writing platform, basically how to network in writing.
Okay. You know what, Serena, maybe we could like talk about doing that as another class another day, because
That would be great, because I'm sure that's new to everyone.
Yeah, and just how to, yeah, I've actually have that on my list to create a presentation on that, like how to, make sure that your LinkedIn page is really being beneficial, because you can actually put all of your awards on your LinkedIn page for your books. I have links to all of my books on Amazon. Like LinkedIn is, you can have everything about you and your creative business on LinkedIn for the universe to find, as opposed to sending them to your website or sending them here. It's really awesome. So yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
That's fantastic. Okay, I'm seeing a lot in the chat. Everyone would like that.
Okay. Sold.
Does anyone else have any other questions or comments before we wrap up? Anyone need to unmute to ask their question?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
The 98 minutes, what would that translate to in minutes of screen time for most of the things that they're producing now?
Yes, that's a good
Or
question.
not 98
Um,
pages, excuse me.
98 pages. I knew what you meant. Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot to say that a minute in screen time is about a page of writing in a screenplay format. So you're looking at like a 98-minute movie. If you look at any show you're watching now, it's all over the place. Like not on network television, but on like Netflix. You might have a 37-minute show, and the next week it's a 52-minute show, and then the next week it's 48 minutes. And so we're no longer stuck to that constraint of, you have to have 22 pages for a 30-minute sitcom because you've got to have those 8 minutes for commercials. We don't have that as much anymore unless you're writing for network television. So you want to still try and keep it within that range of that 120 pages. But I'll tell you, a lot of producers, they turn to your last page, and if it's over 100, they don't read your script. We're just not living in that world anymore. So if you can keep it under 100 pages, you're going to get read better. I don't know if that answered your question. I feel like I.
Thank you. You are
did.
wonderful. I'm enjoying this so much. Thank you so
Okay, good.
much.
My pleasure. I'm so glad.
Ari, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a quick question. I know at the top you write the setting, but you state it. How detailed can we get into how the setting looks, or like how much it means to the character?
Nothing to the character. The setting and the narrative, that block doesn't go on film. That block is just for the director to know like what's coming up next. Like we walk into an old West town and there's a saloon, and that's it, just so they know to frame the scene. The dialogue is really the only way you can translate anything, with the exception of planting specific visuals, like the photograph on the wall of the couple or the Beatles song playing in the background. So if you need something like that in the setting, you can put that in the action sequence, but the action sequence should be as brief as possible, because movie people, they don't like to read. They don't like to read. So they really are going to skim through your dialogue. It is so different from book writing, and it's weird. And like in book writing, you could know Stephen King and nobody cares. If your book isn't like amazing, an agent's not going to pick you up. Whereas in the film world, it's like, oh, I know this guy here. Now he's your attorney. Like he never even read anything I wrote, and he pitched me to these people. Like, oh, Jamie's got this great log line. Like he was lucky I'm a good writer, So it's totally different than the book world. So I don't know if that answered your question, but I hope so.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand just how much creativity we have as like a screenwriter. So is it just more like word oriented rather than like what's actually in my head? Like I'm just trying to play out what's in my head. Is that what it is?
I would recommend you just write it and then you go back in and cut it out, because you want it to be visual enough for the cinematographer and the director and everybody to tell your story that you're seeing. But you also need to know that they're going to tell the story the way they see it. Like you're inspiring them to tell your story is how you have to think of it. So what do you need to give them to inspire them to tell your story? If you want to tell your story, you write the book. And that's why, like I said, for Just Jake, I sold the book rights to a publisher, and I wrote the book based off of my original screenplay. The movie was rewritten by the producer's son. Welcome to Hollywood. So it's written by me and the producer's son, which is perfectly fine. Like it is what it is. It happens all the time. So that script, I have not read it. I read the first page and I was already like, oh, this is my structure, but man, I didn't make that character up. We're not even in the same place, so it's totally different. So you just want to write enough to inspire them to tell your story correctly. And then if you want to tell your story, you make sure you keep those book rights and you write the book, or write the book first and then it's based off the book. I'll see you soon, I hope.
Yes, enjoy the rest of your weekends, and I hope to see you all at the next workshop. Bye, everyone.